Hey there, welcome to the Ultimate Amazon FBA Photography video. In this video, you learn everything about Amazon FBA photography. You learn about the process of working with an Amazon FBA photography studio, how it works, what it's all about. We're gonna learn about the main image on Amazon, what works, what doesn't, all sorts of tips and hacks, about pictures inside the listing, like lifestyle images and different images, and generally everything for you to improve your photography. We're also, as a bonus, going to be speaking about video for your listing. And the goal with today's video is to get you more sales so you can learn about these things, because these things get you more clients, and we'll do our best for you. And today I'm not alone. Today I'm accompanied by Marcin Roszkowski, who's the owner of Vivid Flow Studio, which is the studio for photography and videography based in the United Kingdom. We'll do the best for you today. And I should stop talking because Marcin, man, please introduce yourself to us, man. I'm happy to have you here. Shoot, man, let's have some fun.
First of all, thank you for having me here. I'm really glad to be here, and hopefully I will be able to help you guys. And like you mentioned, my name is Marcin Roszkowski, and I'm a photographer and videographer at the commercial photography studio. We are based in the UK. We specialize in commercial photography, providing product images, lifestyle images, product videos, promo videos, ads, all sorts of like business-to-business relation like services. So yeah, many of our clients are like Amazon sellers as well. So we are very, very familiar with Amazon restrictions, Amazon requirements in regards to photos or videos. And they are kind of strange restrictions to my taste, but yeah. You know, you have to deal with what you've got. And we have in the studio for many years now. I'm a photographer for 13 years now. First, I started as a kid, but that was like a very short, brief moment. And then I just kind of come back to that when I was like a bit older, could afford to buy my own camera and, you know, start learning, you know, the craft. It was quite tricky as well. And, you know, it took a while, but fast forward like 13 years running a studio now and trying to provide, you know, best services we can to our clients.
Thanks for sharing the story, man. So, and talking about your studio, man, that's pretty awesome. You mentioned also about the part where there's some restrictions of Amazon that they're pretty weird sometimes, but it's nice that you're aware of them and you provide services for Amazon sellers. That's mainly my audience here, man. So I was really glad to connect with you. Me and Marcin, we connected on LinkedIn. You probably know this platform, and it's really nice for professionals to connect in different spaces. And then we thought like, hey, let's collaborate. Let's have some fun. Let's share some value and just good things with the audience. And yeah, man, also it was nice to know that you do that for a long time. I also do photography, far from professional, just amateur. As I mentioned to you before, I do landscapes, man. And I love it. It makes me, you know, feel good. I go just chill out with my camera. I think I have it somewhere here. I'm going to disappear for a bit, but like, it's just a Canon. Like this actually for, probably, you know, this lens more for like kind of, I would say, portraits. And so yeah, man, I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. That's how we all started. You know, my journey started with landscapes too. You know, I never really thought I could not shoot anything else than landscapes. But yeah, for me, it was a while before I was like, you know, comfortable enough to start shooting people as well. Yeah, it's
nice, man. And yeah, pretty awesome. Again, thanks for sharing this, man. And so essentially, yeah, man, let's share some awesome stuff. Let's share some value because you have a lot of experience, man. I want to pick your brain for this, and I'm really excited. So can I ask you some questions, man, about some photography and all this stuff?
Yeah, sure. Hopefully I'll be able to answer them as much as I can. But
let's do our best.
I'll do my best. I will try.
All right. So, man, first question is essentially, before we get to the hacks and the main images, maybe for those who are newer sellers, I would like to ask you, like, can you tell us about the process of working with the studio photographers? Like, what should we prepare, how it goes, so we can make it efficient for you as a photographer and us as sellers, essentially? How does it work, the process, man? Like, can you give some words on this?
You should be prepared for a ton of questions, for sure. Because I can't probably speak for every photography studio, but I believe most photographers, they will ask you lots of questions. It's really important and crucial because we need to understand your product, what your needs, what do you want, and your target audience. You as a seller probably most likely know your target audience better than us photographers. That's why we ask lots of questions, and just to get as many details as possible, get dive deep as much as we can to understand your requirements and what we can create ultimately to get the best images we're gonna sell, because that's the ultimate goal, right? It's not like just to create pretty images, just to create images that's gonna convert. So that's why we ask really lots of questions. Sometimes to the point that people are tired of those questions, but it is important. So if you want to be really prepare yourself to anything, yeah, just prepare or understand maybe what you want, if you know, because it happens sometimes client doesn't really know, and that's probably okay as well. But if you want to add something into it, yeah, that's probably like just do some research and find out maybe what you like or what you don't like or what you think might work. Obviously most probably photographers and studios gonna give you their advice as well, from their perspective, from their experience. But yeah, that's probably the best. If you could be prepared for the question and be prepared to answer also them, and just to be like as specific as you can, provide as many details as you can. You can even prepare like a mood board or collection of the images you like from your competitors, or in general, or in any kind of images. Let's say you like this light in this image, but obviously you got a different product, you want different angle or whatever, but like anything you like it, we might not use it eventually, but it can help me understand what you're after and what you want. And we all have different point of view. I can't really get into your brain and know exactly what you want. So that's the way how I can understand as much as I can what you want, what you're after, what your needs, and talk about like your audience and what. Yeah. So lots of questions. Don't be intimidated by them. It's not like photographer want to push you away or anything. It's just important to understand your needs and in a way how the best we can serve you and your product and create the best possible images that will sell, right? So I would say that's the best what you can do, the best how you can prepare. And yeah, because the communication here is the key. It's really the key point.
I understand, man. So essentially we should come prepared with some knowledge about our product, about our niche, like with some pictures that we want to show you and say, hey, Marcin, like we want something like this. Say we want to sell this pen, right? Yeah. And the pen is put in this angle and not in this angle. Hey, Marcin, can you do this like that? Or, kind of stuff like that. And the more you bring to the table to you as a photographer, it's going to be easier for you to understand our way of thought, because you want to give us the work we are looking for, essentially, if I understand right. And Marcin, all right, so that's pretty awesome. And as for the process itself, like for example, a new seller, right? You think like, hey, when do I send him the product? Should I send the product to his home? Can you give a bit of, so to say, example? Just explain. I guess it's easy. Like, what's the process in terms of like kind of physically? Like, we contact you, and then you answer. You send the questionnaire, right, about the product, and then we send you the sample, I guess, right? Is this how it goes, right?
Yeah, basically it started through the communication. Yeah, so we go back and forth with tons of questions.
I see.
We understand that part. Depending on the client sometimes as well, because sometimes clients prefer to know in advance all the costs. So then we sometimes have to go deeper. And then when we agree on the budget for the product or for the project, then obviously we ask him to send the product to our studio. In the meantime, we coming up with the ideas, brainstorming in the studio as well, and pitching the ideas to client, what we can do and or not, what might work or might not work, and just trying to refine, build upon all those questions, the best ideas. And even for just sometimes just for simple product like a pen you mentioned, but even if for simple products you want to stand out, right? So we have to come up with something which is going to be slightly different. It doesn't have to be hugely different, but at least a little bit. So yeah, when we're receiving the products, obviously we execute them, should organize everything. If the model is going to be involved, we obviously contact models, organize for photo shoot, execute it, and that's what we do in our studio. I can't speak for other studios, but that's what we do. We shoot much more than it's needed. So let's say if you need for your pen 7 images, we most likely gonna shoot, let's say, 10, maybe 12
Mm-hmm.
images,
Mm-hmm.
like, from slightly different angles. Let's say you want the 45 angle, but when I'm shooting, I kind of like it slightly different one, so I shoot that one
Mm-hmm.
as well. And then we send all the unedited images. So they are
Mm-hmm.
images, before any editing, basically.
Yeah.
They're not as pretty, but that's we're sending the whole that bunch of to the client. So at least you got a choice, because what we do, what we believe, it's like you to give our clients the choice. Because my approach or my thinking or what I like might not be yours. So
Yeah.
and I understand, like, when you're paying for something like photography, you can't see it beforehand before you're paying for it. So you're kind of buying something you haven't even seen yet.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we're providing a bit wider choice so the client can see, let's say, okay, maybe for this angle, let's say somebody wanted, the 45-degree angle, and
Mm-hmm.
we created 60-degree angle, which is looks
Mm-hmm.
better. And then the client said,
Mm-hmm.
oh, okay, yeah, that looks better. So I prefer go ahead with these images, or can stay to his original idea. So yeah, and the clients make the final choice of the images he likes. Then we just finish the editing, make all the magic in Photoshop. Then we showing again the finished product, like the client can see how they looks after editing, or all the effects, or all the infographics, or whatever we're gonna do. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, see the final result, and if he's happy, he's obviously have to pay. That's the most painful the most painful time in that the whole process. Yeah, but yeah, and after the payments, clients receiving the finished images, we
Yeah.
sending them in both sizes, like the high res. The high res is the main the image, which is like the full resolution, and
Uh-huh.
the web, which is prepared for Amazon. So you take the web and just upload it to Amazon. Because if you use the high res, you can use the high res for Amazon, but they're way bigger. They upload much longer, so it's
Mm-hmm.
better to use like image, which is like basically prepared for the website usage.
I see, man. So essentially, the process, as you mentioned, is a lot of communication. The client reaches out, and you explain him essentially all the process. So for those who might be thinking, like, I'm not sure how it works, well, you can just reach out to Marcin, for example, and he's gonna explain you all the process. It's kind of easy. I mean, I've been using photo shoots for my products for a while, and I gotta tell you that you, Martian, as well as a customer, so to say, and to the users watching, for me, one of the most exciting moments in this is to get the pictures from the photographer. When he's like, okay, I've done them, here's the folder. I'm like, oh, I'm running to the computer to, and boom. And that's what's interesting, that then you see what the photographer is giving you, because it might be slightly different, but you're like, wow, that's cool. I like his approach, so to say. And a lot of times that's what happens. Like, you just take what you didn't ask for, what the photographer thought like is close to what you've asked for, so to say. Yeah, and you can easily take it because you're like, oh, that's awesome, because two brains work better than one in a way, and
Yeah.
because photographers usually have like experience, so yeah, they will do some nice work, man. Pretty awesome, man. And Martian, man, one more thing is, I actually, it's kind of already answered in question number one, but I want to ask about the competitor analysis. Should we come prepared with this as sellers or not? But I guess you answered already that we better come prepared with this, right? But if say not, if I'm just like, I'm like, I have this pen, Martian, help me. Like, can you help us with the competitor analysis, or how does it work?
Yeah, obviously, no, we can help you. Even like clients coming and say, like, this is my product. I don't care about anything. You just come up
Uh
with whatever it's fine. It is
huh.
like, I believe most photographers should be fine with that as well.
All right.
But you have to be prepared in a way. You might not get that what you would like to,
Yeah,
because
exactly.
I would not, I would have no clue what you're after, because
Exactly, man.
without
That's right.
asking you a ton of questions, I wouldn't understand your needs at all. I would
Uh huh.
have to guess. But that's going to be educated guess on experience, and
Obviously.
it still might be far away from your idea, what you've got in the head. So in terms of analysis, yeah, it's like if you would like to have in-depth analysis, that's usually probably like you have to be prepared for a little bit higher investment, because you have to
I
spend time
see. Yeah,
on
exactly.
studying, and yeah, so if you probably like it's a good way to save yourself a little bit money if you
Yeah,
can, prepare yourself.
makes sense,
I mean,
man. Totally.
if you get to the point, you prefer to pay other people to do that. That's actually, I guess that's perfect. That's what we all want ultimately, right? Like you don't have
Yes.
to be dealing with the stuff you don't want to or you don't care about.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
just like by other people do it that for you. So I believe like most studio will be fine to doing that as well.
Hmm.
But that in deep analysis, it's gonna be like a little bit more expensive to do it. Like if you wanna really go crazy, what we usually do, we do some research. Your competitors. Either the clients send us the direct competitors. Usually clients know them better
Yeah.
because they are in that niche and market. For us, we have to find them, and it still might not be direct competitor. I might find somebody else,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
not direct. And sometimes you
I
basically
understand, man.
you know your product better
Yeah.
than photographer for sure.
So the bottom line would be like, yes, you can do the product research, not product research. That's another topic. The
Yeah, that's the
competitor,
story.
the competitor research for us. If we come like, hey, Martian man, just take care. Of course, you're gonna charge for this more because you gotta sit and do that in a much deeper level. But generally, and I would say that as an Amazon seller myself, I'd rather know my competitors better than the photographer and just give him the
Yeah.
work. And yeah, that would be better for both sides probably.
Yeah. The research of competitors is like it's not usually something we charge more unless that has to be something like go deep into the numbers or
Exactly.
understand
Yes, of course.
that if because sometimes we even have to cooperate with other people maybe for yourself and just to so because our knowledge on Amazon might be not enough to go
Yeah.
that deep.
Uh-huh.
So sometimes it might require to hire other people to do that work. But this
Hmm.
like let's say basic research of competitors is fine. But usually,
Yeah.
to be honest, from experience, like most people, most clients, they already got
Yeah.
some idea about
Yeah.
competitors. They send in some links.
Hmm.
They saying like, oh, I like this or I don't like that one.
Exactly.
Or
Yeah.
sometimes like mentioned before, when you're providing samples, you can say, okay, from this listing, I like the image too. From that listing, I like the image three, and then you can just like take it
I
from
see,
there.
man.
And to be honest, like sometimes there's no other way. Like testing, you might believe one image gonna be like better, and then you start using another image, and it turns to get better results. Sometimes there's no other way than just to test it out and just find out what's working, what's not.
Pretty cool, man. And man, so yeah, I guess we covered the topic of the process. And so for those who are newer, maybe they now understand it better how it works. Again, if anyone has any question, we're here for you. Drop a comment and also like the video to make us kind of go up in the algorithm. Also, if you're here already, but we're gonna make it answer. And speaking about images, man, I have a few questions, and maybe that would be very interesting for the beginners as well and the advanced sellers. Maybe about let's start from the main image. So my questions about the main image is something like, so essentially what works, what doesn't work from your perspective on main image, maybe any ninja hacks you have for main images. And then I'm going to ask you about maybe if you have any kind of a case, not exactly a case study, but just a case when you kind of did some change to a main image and it helped in the pictures, and you can give an example, something like this.
Yeah, with the main image, the problem is like those restrictions from Amazon. From my perspective as a photographer, I'm not a huge fan of this format, the square format, because it gives you a bit less real estate to work with.
Yeah.
And our vision works more like as a landscape. I know
Mm-hmm.
now, with the phones and mobile screens, we get crazy with vertical stuff. But for our brain, still horizontal landscapes, it's more natural. So
Hmm.
I kind of got the tendency to preferring the landscape images as well instead of the vertical ones.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the limitation. In plus, you have to have that white background, so you can't go too crazy, too creative with that as well. So it is a little bit tricky with that image, the main Amazon image. The best what you can do to get the best quality you can to
Mm-hmm.
showcase your product as a really good quality product and just to get the image which is gonna stand out a little bit from the crowd, from the rest, especially like when
Mm-hmm.
the buyer going through all the website. The Amazon, yeah, basically it's like the market where you can see directly different sellers.
Mm-hmm.
So if your image doesn't stand out and it's just every other image, it might be just overlooked. What the people have to understand, they are really like visual creatures in a way. I'm not saying that the image is gonna like be maybe the most important, but at least to the point like to grab someone's attention, the first attention, just to grab that attention. And then when they click, they can go deeper to understanding the product.
Mm-hmm.
But that main image, that's why it's important. So you can grab the attention and connect them slightly a little bit deeper level than maybe other images. So what we usually trying to do is get them the best quality possible to make them crisp, looking good. And sometimes what you can do is like shoot something in a slightly different angle, maybe which gonna create a little bit more dynamic and unique image. And sometimes we adding, a little bit some props, even though the Amazon is not that happy with that. You can't go too crazy here. So, but if you add, notice if you add a little bit something, it's okay. You can't go too crazy, but if you add some, but sometimes that's enough. Sometimes enough to make your image stand out or to make it interesting enough to grab somebody's attention and just to make them click on your listing page. And then you got another chance to grab their attention through all the description or other images or video if you're using video as well. Yeah, but that's why that main image is so important, just to grab that attention. Somebody just to want it to click. It's in a way like a shop window.
Yeah.
If you're going through the street and you got like every window looks the same for you just eventually you just skip. If you made if you see the window which is like looks maybe not completely different, but at least some way different, it will grab your attention. So it's kind of similar concept, in a way. We have to understand like how our brains work, because it doesn't matter. We're all basically buyers, right? Yeah, you might selling on Amazon, but you're buying from somewhere else. We all buying, from somewhere. So we are basically clients. So you just have to understand a bit like how it works. It's hard to like to know how it's gonna work for everyone, but you're not gonna probably grab attention of all the people, but at least as much as you can, and that's important too. So that prop, if that adding that extra prop can help as well. Like we use for one of our clients, because they're selling on the USA market on Amazon.com. So we add a little bit like a American flag around the product, like a teeny tiny. It was like it makes the product enough, the image different enough. They're saying they got quite a lot of success, and that's, to be honest, wasn't even our idea. I mean, how we did it, yes, but the client had that idea of using the flag in the image. Somehow he want to incorporate that. We come up with the idea how to do it, but yeah, the initial idea. So that's the kind of way how he came prepared a little bit, having his idea, not entire idea because he didn't know what exactly, but he knew he wants to use the flag and maybe that would be cool, and we just come up with the idea how to do it, and I think it kind of helped him. Like, I don't know exact numbers, but yeah, he said it helped.
It works, well. Yeah. I see, man. Pretty cool, man. And essentially, as I understood from speaking about the main image, we gotta let's take the example of walking on the street and looking at the shop window. If you see everything that is the same, all the pens are the same, they stand like this, you're just not gonna notice anything different. But if somebody even slightly changes the angle, adds maybe shows the box, or maybe adds some little thingy. I mean, again, on Amazon, it's kind of problematic with the term of service, but as you mentioned, if you add some little things, I do it as well, it's fine. And again, you got to test out. And by doing these things, you, of course, as a photographer, you will know to advise us, and you will look at others, and we as sellers will tell you like, hey, Marcin, like, I see that everybody's doing the right angle. Can we just do it left angle? Let's see if it makes our sales better. And from experience, it helps. Little things like this help.
As a photographer, I'm not spending that much on Amazon, like going through. I don't have that much time during the day. But when you, as a seller, probably spending much more time on it, you might understand the whole market or the whole niche of your product slightly better. So yeah, if you're seeing something, or if you got idea like, oh, nobody doing this, let's try it. It might be worth to try it. So that's why, again, communication is important. That's the reason.
One maybe tip for the viewers: go outside of your niche to other niches and get ideas. That can be really nice, because in different niche, you might find something that you never thought before, but it can still be applied to your niche. So, and this can help you when you're going to work with Marcin. You're going to say like, hey, like, look at this pillow, like well, whatever. It's the main image looks like this. Can you make the same for our pen? Something like this, and that's it. This not only for main image, also for listing images. Which brings me to the next question. Unless you have anything else to add on the main image, man.
Yes, I think I would even go further with your idea, just about other. I think you can inspire by everything, even like something not even related to the photography or to your product at all. You might, or let's say you might be, you want the product image, but you might be inspired by a wedding photography. So just like open your mind and try to observe surroundings. Sometimes you can be surprised what can really inspire you. It can be something totally unrelated to anything you're trying to do. Some spark in your head. And sometimes we ask clients to share any ideas, because I don't believe there are stupid ideas, that anything can work. Even if you think it's stupid, you might not end up using this idea, but it might spark my brain to work slightly different, and then maybe I will come up some different idea. So the brainstorming, it's important as well. So I would say, if you got ideas, just shoot it. They are not stupid ideas. They are just ideas that might not work, or we might not use it, but they are not stupid. So don't be afraid of expressing your ideas and thoughts, and just share it.
I see, man. Yeah, makes sense. Brainstorming is awesome. You gotta do that with your photographer or with anyone. Take ideas from other places, get inspired every day, hopefully, for everything in your life, but specifically for photography as well. And then it can bring crazy results. Again, speaking from experience, and Marcin also is speaking from experience. So Marcin, for example, awesome. Right, so we got a pretty cool main image. They clicked on our listings. Now I want to ask you a little bit about the listing picture. So I wanted to ask specifically about the lifestyle images. And I got to say that I was browsing your website, and really nice lifestyle pictures, man. It's, well, for those who want to check, we're going to have Marcin's website in the description as well. Very nice works, man. And I think lifestyles are very important, but I want to ask you actually about this. So first question would be like, are they necessary? And again, are there any hacks of making lifestyle photos more efficient maybe, and any cases you'd like to mention? Yeah, man. So are they necessary first? Do you think they're necessary?
I would say that really depends on the budget for the project, because usually the lifestyle images are a little more expensive to
definitely, man,
produce. You have to hire location models, and that can go,
I know.
production cost can go quite high. So if you can afford and you get the product, if you know it's gonna be like a product you're gonna sell it for a long time, for years, let's say, then yeah, it might be really worth it to invest in them. Because what's important in lifestyle images is to get that emotional connection.
All right.
Because you have to understand, like, we are emotional creatures and we buy emotionally. We all lie to ourselves. We're not doing it, but we do it. Yeah, we do it. You buy emotionally, and then you justify, logically afterwards, like, oh, I bought this one because it's this or that, or yeah, I need it, or whatever.
100%.
But in the moment when you were like clicking the button, that was all driven by your emotions. So that's why the lifestyle images are important, because it's easier to get that emotional connection, which might help you to sell. And no one probably can guarantee if they will sell, but for sure they might, because like I mentioned, it's like someone somehow grab your attention, or the buyer attention, or connect it somehow and break this kind of hesitation. Because when you're buying something, you don't know the person who you're buying from, you don't know nothing, and so it's kind of impersonal. But if you connect it a little bit, if you start liking what you're seeing, you got this emotional connection slightly better, so it's easier for you to just click that button. You don't feel that, oh, I'm gonna spend that money. It's just hard to explain, but yeah, that's the emotional connection here is important. That's why the lifestyle images are quite. If you can afford them, I would say do it. Even for products like simple products, like you mentioned, pen. If you got a budget, if you know you're gonna keep selling that product for a while, and you really invest in that, I would say do it, because from experience we know it helped a lot. Just increase the sales.
So Marcin, can you give some examples of this emotional connection kind of thing in products?
Even like products like Hammer, which is like a simple product, everybody knows how to use it, right? Simple. Why would you need anything more than just image on the white background? Everybody knows how the Hammer works.
Yeah.
even kids probably. Maybe you shouldn't allow them to use it, but they know how it
All
works
right.
probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you can get that emotional connection on a deeper level, you might get that advantage against your competitors if they don't use lifestyle images, even for the
Uh-huh.
products like Hammer. And because if you're using it and if you can show it like how people using it and how they enjoying using it, or how it's helpful for them, it's this again, it's like this tiny and probably not that much visible the connection, but you can connect it on that level with your potential buyer, you for sure got better chance to close the deal. It might still not guarantee you're gonna sell it, but it probably increase your chances because if we buying from people we like, the same in a way like they don't know you as a seller personally, but if they not like your listing, how you treat everything
Great
in your
point, man.
listing, yeah, then if they start liking what they're saying, they most likely buy from you. So that's why if you've got the cool images, they don't have to be crazy. Sometimes just a simple tabletop lifestyle images works as well. They don't have to even hire models or go to crazy locations because what we do in our studio sometimes we just create the lifestyle setup in a studio. Some
Yeah.
simple lifestyle setups can be created in a studio, and that's definitely can reduce the cost because you don't have to hire the location, go crazy, that and spend money on maybe sometimes even models because we sometimes shoot without the models. But it's definitely something I think if you can afford and if you had a budget for that, I would say just do it. And eventually, I believe it should help to improve the sales. And what else you can do maybe to like save yourself a little bit money to do the composites. So it means like you take your product and use the stock images to combining them together. But I would say you have to be careful here as well because poorly done composites,
Oh yeah, man. It looks awful.
they look awful, and I think most likely they're gonna push away client than because everybody knows Photoshop now. It's not like some mystery. People we are way more sophisticated than 20 years ago. For example,
Yeah.
like if you saw something like 20 years ago to someone who was like thinking that that's magic, but now they might don't know or don't understand how it has been done, or you may don't even understand what's wrong on the image, but they got this feeling that something is off, something doesn't match it. They might don't understand it like consciously, but on the subconscious
Mm-hmm.
level, they know something
Mm-hmm.
is off. And you've got that slight feeling, negative feeling, it might be that tip off when they're not gonna buy from you. So that's why I think you have to be really careful with the composite. They have to be done really well in order to work.
Yeah, man. Pretty cool input on the emotions. And I gotta say that it's true because people, even if they don't really understand what's going on, like on the subconscious, they will connect with your images and they don't know you as a seller, they will connect to your pictures kind of thing. And one
Yeah.
little tip from myself, I would say if you can know your target audience and you have the money as well, you can hire a model that looks like your target audience. Like, so to say, let's create an example. That's a pen, but the pen is not the pen for the school. We're going to be selling a premium pen for businessmen. All right, we know our audience, so we would like, if we have the budget and we want this, we can create a photo shoot with businessmen, somebody dressed appropriately and in this business environment, because the person who
Yeah.
will be buying this, he's either buying for himself or as a gift. He will feel this and the listing. And as you mentioned, man, people will easily spot Photoshop. And if it's poorly done, even if they don't really understand it, their mind will understand it. And the chance for conversion or sale is much lower. And yeah, that's a pretty cool input, man. I think a lot is about connection with the audience and about this emotions. As you mentioned, we close people logically. For example, you after you've inspired them emotionally, you're gonna show the sizes, the material, but that's just to make them sure that's not just fun and emotional to buy, it's also practical, and that's the perfect scenario. Yeah, a lot of good information about pictures. We've spoken about main images, we've spoken about lifestyle images for the listings, and hopefully the people have gotten ideas for their images, and hopefully they will take it to their own place, man. And also, as in the beginning, I mentioned that I would like to give a bonus to our viewers about the video. So I understand that you are also doing video with your studio. So essentially, I guess the number 7 picture on Amazon can be now used as a video for those who have brand registry. So I guess you can create these videos, man. Can you tell us a little bit about this, what it's all about? What kind of videos do you create for Amazon sellers, or generally what kind of videos do you create?
Yeah, we also do videos in our studio. To be honest, story is very, very similar because it's again based on the story, and the video kind of help you tell a little bit more stories, a little bit more maybe sophisticated stories, maybe get a little bit deeper or more complex, maybe not deeper because probably that's a different, that's up to the viewer how deep they want to go. But you know that still like can help you to put a little bit more different smaller stories to one bigger story. You know, so the video give you a little bit more flexibility with telling the stories. And then that's again, if you got a good story, if somebody can connect or relate to that story, that's the better chances you got that emotional connection, and again will help you to selling, because that's eventually that's how it works. And so it's very, very similar in a way to telling the stories. It's a different medium, so you have to approach slightly different, but still it's based on that emotions, and that's really important, and give you like more flexibility to tell those stories. But it's still important to that part to get the story. And again, it doesn't have to be complex story, it doesn't have to be anything crazy now Hollywood scripts or whatever. It can be something very simple. Even like, let's say you can present your product as a cool idea for a gift. If you can do it in a video in a way like somebody like giving that product to somebody else, you open it, he's smiling, he's happy, it's those even simple things, like when you can get that emotional human connection, right?
Yeah. And you can provide the service with your company, right? We do that for Amazon sellers as well, the video.
Yeah, we create the videos for Amazon as well. Yeah, many of our clients. Usually we start like most of the time shooting just the images for them, and then and they see because again the video requires even more investment than
obviously, man, obviously.
Images.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends. Most of the time, depends obviously, but in a video, honestly, the numbers can go crazy. Yeah, if you because the possibilities now they are almost endless with all the technology and softwares we've got. You can go crazy, but the numbers can go crazy as well. Another different way to connect emotionally with your potential buyer. And some videos, what might work, they don't have to be crazy. They don't have to be like stories from Hollywood, or just really simple stories, something like which connect quite nicely. Like, for example, we did video for a client who's selling like face paints for kids. So we hire like a makeup artist and models for kids models, and she was painting the kids. They having fun, with the painted faces, and that's how people, when they seeing something like that, and they can imagine their kids having that fun, or if they present giving this as a gift, the other parents, kids, other people can have that fun. So we do those connections ourselves in our heads. So that's helping. I think that's helping to convincing basically like that's gonna be like a really cool, as a gift or for your kids, or whatever, why you're really buying it. As I said, they for sure gonna find lots of ideas, the logical explanations why they bought it, but the connection is gonna be the emotional one, and that's what's gonna probably like spark them to really click that button.
Yeah, you want them to see the video or the pictures and put themselves in the shoes of kind of those kids having fun. So they're like, oh, that's how my kid is gonna have fun. Or these people writing with the pen. Oh, that's me. I'm a businessman. I'm gonna be writing with this pen, like kind of this stuff. And with video and photos, you can easily create that connection. And that's what you do, man, as a photographer, right? It's one of the things with the lifestyle images. Of course, you can do that as well, and it's proven to be very converting from experience again on Amazon. And one more thing I would like to mention, as I mentioned before, know your target audience. Because I'm going to give an example even. I had essentially two friends and two clients. They are selling products for kids, and on their pictures they had it's funny, they had kids that were aged about 10 years old, right? And they weren't converting. Like the listing seemed fine, and one day they were like, whoa, what's going on? Why don't we sell? I went to check out their listing. Went to check out the competition, and then I saw that it's actually for like kids that are toddlers, 3 years old. And you see they didn't understand the target audience exactly, and they couldn't convert. We changed the target audience. They didn't exactly do a photo shoot again. They used infographics with the small kids, and it worked well because we understood the target audience. So very important to understand your target audience. The better you narrow down, it's going to be much easier to convert and sell and have more, better kind of pictures, videos. Yeah. So Marcin, man, thanks for sharing all this, man. That's pretty awesome. Lots of knowledge bombs for us as Amazon sellers. Appreciate that. And one more question on the kind of your entrepreneurial journey, man, because you own the studio, man, as you mentioned. That's pretty awesome, man. I guess it's not the easiest thing. So my question is, was there ever a part in your journey when you kind of wanted to quit? Not specifically this business, maybe something else, but was there something when you wanted to quit, you felt like quitting, but you didn't quit? And what made you not quit your kind of venture? Yes.
The funny story is I almost quit photography.
All right.
In general. And that was kind of almost at the beginning of my whole journey through photography, because it started as a passion, as a hobby, and yeah, but when you start getting deeper and you want to understand more how the camera works and all of those technical stuff, it was so overwhelming for me that I was start even thinking like I will never be able to learn what those all bloody buttons do, So it's like kind of overwhelming, and I was just like start thinking like I won't be able to learn all of that. It's too much, and I put away camera for I don't know, probably 6 months or even more. I was starting thinking about selling it because I was like, nah, probably not gonna come back to this, and it's just like just literally was on giving it up. I spoke with my friend as well, just like telling him like I'm probably gonna like sell the camera. I think it's not for me, and he said like, look, he was a photographer as well, and he said like I read the cool book, and I did read the book, and if I can say thank you, Pavel, who gave me not gave me, but just gave me the title of the book, and yeah. So after reading that book, I just knew it. That's something what I want to do it, and I found the passion for it, like just to go through all those, the learning curves and pains, and all those, sufferings to learn the, learning curve. And I think that's kind of important. Whatever we do, the passion is important. You have to find the way to be passionate about. I wouldn't say necessarily you have to do something what you are passionate about, but even if you start doing something, you have to find a way to be passionate about it. So, because I think that's the only way you can become really good at it. Because if you be only forcing yourself to do it, even just for the money, let's say, I think you still might suffer more than get enjoyment from that. So you have to find some passion. And I think that's how I get through all this. Well, I wouldn't say my learning times are over. I think the photography is never ending learning.
Never ending.
And yeah, but yeah, that's passion helped me for sure to get through that. Yeah, I would say just don't give up. If you want to do something, and even if you feel you're not good at it, it means you just have to learn more. And we all have to learn. It's not like we are born with all knowledge, all skills, or whatever. You just have to go through life and just learn from the mistakes, make as many mistakes as you can, and just like learn from them and just move forward. I almost did quit photography, and now 15 years later, I do have a studio. At that time, somebody will tell me like, "Oh man, you have your own studio." I would laugh in his face.
Yeah. But you didn't quit, man, and you're here with us today. And this is just the power of not quitting, right? Well, one of the powers of not quitting, because otherwise probably we couldn't connect, man, and talk. And you probably did lots of works for Amazon sellers who now do stuff. So essentially, once you don't quit something, there's a high chance that you might actually also influence lots of people with your craft. And that's a very good thing, man. So Thank you for not quitting, man.
You-
I mean, good stuff.
yeah. Well, I'm happy too. I'm happy to be honest. I really do enjoy it, and it's like in look, it's like in everything. It has the days when you really like feel tired or exhausted, or you work long
Definitely, man.
day, or doesn't go your way. Even if you plan a photo shoot and something way went horribly wrong, which happened, and it's you got those bad days. We all have them, I guess. Whatever you
100%.
do, even if you love something, you still might some days you might hate it. That's I think where the passion is important. Even if I hate it today, I get up to tomorrow in the morning and I still want to do it.
Yep.
That's why and I believe even if it didn't start from the passion, it can go to that direction because
Interesting, man.
I wouldn't say the passion is something like you are already got for something. Like I'm not sure if I mentioned I used to play basketball. When I first started like playing basketball, I was a soccer player because everyone was playing soccer, so
Uh-huh.
like a football player, yeah. So and
Yes.
and I didn't really like enjoy first few things when first twice when I played basketball because I wasn't good, because that was first time I was doing. So I
Uh-huh.
didn't feel that's for me. But I was keep trying and trying, and then I fall in love. I really fall in love in basketball, and it was like a huge part of my life for many years. I still love it. I can't play it because I'm too old, but
Ah,
I
come on,
still
man.
love it, and I still watching, and it's still a big part of my life, even though it didn't start as a big passion. It became a passion because
I
you
see what you're saying. It
start knowing
became
the
your
subject.
passion with time.
If you start knowing something, you start getting better at something. You understand that better. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but that's how it works with me. I wouldn't say that's why I wouldn't say you have to have passion from the beginning for it, but I have to find a way to be passionate about it.
Yes, because otherwise it's probably no matter what you're doing, if it's as you mentioned, if it's solely money, yeah, or something else, it's gonna be like, uh, you know what I mean? Like,
Uh,
yeah,
it'll be hard for you to get through those pains because whatever you're gonna do, whatever you're gonna choose to do in your life, you'll got those days, painful days. And that's normal, natural. That's how life works, and we can't avoid it. When you got a passion, it helps you go through that because otherwise it'd be much easier to quit.
thanks for inspiring us. Thanks for sharing your story, man, as well. That's pretty cool. I think it's interesting to also, as I mentioned, to connect to different individuals all over the world, man. We all have a story. Each one of us is unique, man. And having passion, man, is definitely gonna help us go through stuff, man, as you did, as I did, and hopefully as our viewers will go through, man. So thank you so lot for this. And Marcin, man, how people can contact you if they want to get in contact with you and your studio, man. How do you think is the best?
You can either go to our website, which is like a vividflowstudio.com, or drop me an email, which is info@vividflowstudio.com.
Mm-hmm.
You can find us on various like social media as well, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. Personally, I'm more active on LinkedIn. Probably if you wanna, get in touch with me, so that LinkedIn, on social media, that might be
I will
better way.
link all of this in the description for our viewers if they want to connect with you, man. I will link everything, all the social media that you would like me to. You can just send it to me later, man. Thank you. And Marcin, would you be kind to share something with our audience in case they want to use your services? Maybe something for your services, man. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's gonna be a good idea and a way to thank you guys to spending time with us, listening us, especially me. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that would be a good way to thank you. So yeah, if you just like use the code VOVA10, we can give you a 10% discount for your first order. And yeah.
Pretty cool, man. Yeah, for those watching, we'll have the coupon. Let's, as mentioned, call it VOVA10, and it's gonna give you 10% off Marcin's services in case you'd like to use them. And that's pretty awesome. Hopefully, it's gonna be helpful for you. That's a little gift we can give you. Check out Marcin's website in the description. I think you're gonna love it. And Marcin, man, thank you for sharing again everything with us. That's a lot of value bombs. Thanks for coming, man. I really appreciate that. Really, hats off, man. Appreciate that a lot. And hope to see you here again soon, man. Yeah.
That would be cool. No, it's my pleasure. I was really enjoy time spending you talking and expressing whatever, sharing whatever I can. Probably there's still like Tom we can miss that we can probably keep talking and talking about it. But no, it was my pleasure, and and if you audience have any questions, I'm here to help.
Perfect. Awesome, man. So see you next time, man.
All right, see you. Thank you.